Hello and welcome everyone. This is the Founder Scoop. My name is Jacob Lee. Today I have with me two special guests here at iHub. These are both mentors. We got Brad Draper and Vic Fralof. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us.
So give me just kind of a brief overview. Who are you guys and what are you doing here at iHub?
We're the best.
We are.
I believe that.
I'll fight you on it. We're the best.
So Vic and I, it actually started with another mentor here that brought me in, and the mentor coordinator asked me to come, and my very first appointment over a year ago was in the old building, and Vic and I had an appointment with a client across the street. So I just texted and said, hey, is it okay if my partner comes in with me? Like, oh yeah, totally. You guys can absolutely come together, because we had no idea what we were about to walk into. We just knew we were coming to help mentor some entrepreneurs. And we walk in, and he and I are dynamically opposite in most things.
That's a good partnership to have.
In appearance, in character, in demeanor, how we do things is pretty opposite. We're very similar in very specific things, but opposite by way of business. And so when we mentored the very first company and the whole set of companies, we quickly found out, because that was the first time we ever mentored together. We quickly found out, oh, we're kind of good at this, because we challenge each other, even in front of whoever we're mentoring. He'll say something and I'm like, I don't agree with that. Because he and I both, in a former life and current life, do mindset development. So we are naturally inclined to challenge each other. So it really started with, I was coming and
I just tagged along.
Drug him along.
Pretty much.
And then we finally left, and people really liked the dynamic. And so we asked iHub, we said, hey, can we just be like together? Like if you ask for me or ask for Vic, you kind of get us both.
Yeah.
By default. And it's been that way ever since. It's been over a year now.
That's really cool. How do you guys meet? Obviously you're partners.
Well, this is funny because we actually met at a men's support group, and we were there to add support to other people. And we started talking, and we realized very quickly we had very similar interests. We thought in similar ways. We're different and unique in our own ways, but overall, at our core, we're very much aligned in a lot of things. So we get to talking about different projects and things that we had done, our career, the paths that we had taken, our failures, because entrepreneurship is full of failures.
Heck yeah.
And so we started realizing that like there's a lot of synergy here and a lot of collaboration. And so we just instantly connected and started doing those deep dive conversations. Like we don't do surface level. That you don't get surface level with us. Like we go straight to the quick of it. Like, how you feeling? Where's your mental headspace at? What are you working on? What are you struggling with? And like that's where we go to, and that's who we are. Is we get to the core root of everything. And so that's where we just started. We had started having those conversations as we were supporting other people in this group, and we started very quickly realizing there is a lot of potential here.
He walked into a room. I was sitting there recording. If I remember right, I was recording a reel for social media. And he walked in, and he asked me. Somebody brought up tattoos, and they asked me, "Will I ever get tattoos?" I said, "Probably not, because I don't view myself, my higher self, to ever have any. I've just never seen that in my higher self. We do a lot of mindset work, right? And we're there to help with mindset work and to support these men in this group." And he walked through the door and heard me say, "My higher self, I don't think has tattoos." And he said, "What makes you think that your image of your higher self is correct?" I'm like,
that's a good intro.
"Hey, what's up, man? Let's talk." So literally our first interaction was him challenging me.
That's cool.
Hasn't stopped at all. It goes both ways.
We challenge each other a lot.
That's cool.
Every day.
Okay, so you mentioned then you guys have a lot of business experience that's very similar. Walk me through like what experience do you guys have in business then?
Yeah.
You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Either way.
I'll jump in there.
Get it.
So, okay. Just a little background of me so you understand where and how and why, right? I'm a first-gen American. I come from a very diverse background of different cultures, the whole shebang. I'm a mess. Hot mess.
He's a mutt.
Pretty much. Pretty much. So, from an early age, I was hustling and grinding and working, trying to survive. Like, not thrive. Survival mode. Survival mode kicked in at 8 years old. Had jobs, things like that. So my trajectory, my experience in business started from that young age. Painting a 500-foot wraparound porch at 8 years old. That was my first ever paying gig. It was $1 per foot. Let me tell you, that sucked all summer.
I believe it.
But it was those little things that added up. So, you start diving into the world of development, software development, personal development, helping companies scale and grow their businesses, seeing things from a different perspective. I very quickly jumped into the world of growth because I had a background in psychology and social behavioral sciences. I understood people, I understood trends and behaviors and things like that. So that's what I focused my corporate career side on, which was scaling businesses, selling products that make money to scale businesses. And then I decided, you know what, I'm tired of making other people money. I'm going to do this for myself to help individuals, to help business owners, things like that. There's a lot of failures that you accumulate from a very young age till here and now, even today. And that was kind of my journey, which was start as a young hustler for $1 a foot to helping businesses grow their business and helping the people themselves scale and grow themselves. So that was me in a nutshell.
Yeah, makes sense. That's cool. What about you?
50,000 foot. So Vic is sales and go-to-market and growth strategy. I'm the exact opposite.
It's awesome.
I went to school for chemistry. I'm a nerd.
Wow,
I'm
nice.
a scientist. So my father bought a lab. He's an entrepreneur. He bought a failing laboratory. And I served a Christian mission and came home, and I wanted to go into business with my dad. And he said, "You ever thought about working in the lab?" I said, "No, dude, I got a C in chemistry with tutors." I tutored every day at lunch with my teacher, and I still got a C. He says, "Just try it out. Just give it a shot." So I went to the microbiology lab, and it sucked. And then I went to chemistry, and I thought it was awesome. I said, "This is actually kind of cool." Production laboratory setting, not research, production. And so I went and I got my degree in chemistry while I worked full time. So a very hard degree, very hard industry, working both. And I mastered analytics and operations. So I scaled as the janitor at the laboratory up to the VP of operations and quality, covering 3 facilities, about 50 employees.
That's cool.
And I had written ISO procedures, ISO accredited procedures, and ISO accredited quality management systems. So I became a master at writing policies, procedures, and reading numbers. So that's a 50,000 foot view of where that came from. And the lesson therein, I hated it. I hated writing procedures. I despised writing procedures. I despised sitting and watching the numbers fall, millions of numbers fall on these instruments over 13 years. But I got really good at it. And it actually became a superpower. I kind of realized, the things that I hated the most became superpower. Because most people have never had that kind of experience.
Yeah.
And you are a sum of all your experiences. So we took that and we merged it together. Vic does all the sales, go-to-market, growth strategy. He does all of the manipulation within our company. And then I, on the back end, do all the policies, all the procedures, all the handbooks, all the business management.
Yeah.
While Vic was on the sales side, I was on the corporate side. So he's got the sales structure, I've got the corporate structure. I do the entity structure, I do all those things. And then I validate what he's doing. So he does the sales, he does the strategy for what we do. We're in financial technology, so we're in the stock market. He runs all the strategy for the stock market and then sends me his results. And then I tell him how good he actually was. Not how good he thought he was, or how good the P&L thinks it says it is, but how good he actually was. His winnability, his profitability, his range, his differential ratios, because I like numbers.
Yeah.
So we go back and forth like that fairly quickly and fairly well. I have no problem telling him, "You did awesome today," or "You suck today." And he's got no problem being like, "Your math sucked today," or "Your math was awesome today."
Usually his math is awesome. He's the one that's telling me my math sucks, and it's okay.
Gotcha.
We already accepted that one.
It's usually, "Did I math that right?" No.
In fact, that was yesterday.
That's funny. That sounds like a good partnership then.
Yeah.
You guys are very, very complimentary.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
What exactly does your company do then? You're in the stock market. You're doing lots of math. What else?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
He's the strategist, so.
We'll give you a high level because there's a lot of intricacies and all that, and people may not understand the scope of it.
Also, what is your company called?
Virad Enterprise.
Virad Enterprise.
Vic, Brad. Viral.
Nice, clever.
Yep, Virat Enterprises, kind of like virus.
We're so creative. We're just so creative. That's why we don't paint her in. And I'm just kidding. So at a high level, we have several products that we sell to individuals or businesses that helps them to have a foot in the stock market and grow in it, not just get liquidated or swept away by institutions, hedge funds doing their thing. I don't know if you know this, but 97% of all traders in the stock market at some point or another quit because of market conditions being what they are and lack of education, all that. I spent 10 plus years of my life studying the market. And so I realized it's a power of mine because I could grow with it and grow in it. I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars in it. And I've also lost a lot more than that. So it goes both ways. But our overall long-term focus and goal of it is to help make a change in the world so that way people don't focus on making money and surviving, but actually thriving and living a purpose-oriented life. And so we've developed products to help assist in that achievement. High-level view.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys have mentioned a lot about how you're really focused on like mindset training. How does that factor in, and like what experience have you gotten to be good at that?
That's everything. That's why we do what we do, right? So he mentioned failures. I started and failed 6 companies prior to this. He's probably somewhere in that same ballpark.
Yeah.
We have been in many scams. I've been in quite a few. Some of those people that scam me are going to prison. Just got indicted like last week.
Nice.
Got sentenced last week. It's like, win.
It's gotta feel good, yeah.
Karma.
Karma's a real thing. But we saw people wanted to win. People naturally want to win. And that's why we fell for these scams. We wanted to win. So we saw things that worked and then where the scam was. And started curating a company that utilized the benefits, disregarded the scam, and really just gave the power of the market. Because everybody knows there's power in the market. That is like a widely accepted thing. The stock market has power, but I have no idea how to do it. Our products help people have power in the market regardless of their intellectual knowledge of the market. We wanted to help people grow. And most people are stuck at the financial means. They're stuck in the 9 to 5. We believe that we're God-fearing men. We believe that God put a purpose in people. And most people never fulfill that purpose because they're stuck on paying their bills, stuck on the 9 to 5. We want people to access their potential and to fulfill the purpose that is actually in them. Everybody has like, oh man, if money wasn't a barrier, I'd do this. Well, then what's stopping you? Oh, I got bills to pay, I got money, I gotta make money. Well, that's a pretty weak answer. If you really think about it, like, you want to do all this, but you got to do this so you can eat. Well, that kind of sucks. Why can't you do both?
Yeah.
And that's where it was born.
People, we're all naturally dreamers as young children. Then life starts happening. We start getting focused on the survival mechanisms. Food, shelter. We start to forget to dream, to have imagination, to think, what if? I could try that. We stop trying. We just get into that routine of wake up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to sleep. That sucks. I hate that concept. I understand that there's a utility behind it, but it keeps you enslaved to the very thing that you actually learn to despise but accept. The routine, the mundane, the lack of passion, lack of fulfillment in your life. So if you had the opportunity to live the life that you wanted without money being an issue because it's producing for you, even if it's just your bare minimum to cover your bills, mortgage, all that crap, how would you spend your day? How would you spend your life if you didn't have that one factor, that one hindrance, that obstacle that society creates for us? We're helping remove that. So at the end of the day, you not doing what you envision or dream of doing is simply a matter of you chose not to. Not that you couldn't, or you don't have the opportunity or the means. You just chose not to. And that's all on you. That's not circumstantial. That's not environmental or anything like that. It's choice. That's what we challenge.
It's a good thing to challenge, for sure.
And mindset is recognizing everything's a choice. So we help people see that.
Sounds like a really fulfilling line of work.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So what do you guys do with your time? It sounds like you're helping a lot of people figure out how to become free. What do you guys do in your time? Like, what do you like to do?
I'm a gym rat.
Yeah?
I don't know if you can tell. He kind of likes to work out.
I like the gym.
Do you have your own gym, or do you go to like
Nope.
Vasa?
Nope. I go to a private gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I go to a local private gym by my house. And I play with my kids a lot. We both have dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I play with my dog. He's a puppy still. So he's 10 months old. He's a total pain in the butt. He's a big pain in the butt. He's like a 100-pound pain in the butt.
Oh, he's heavy.
He's a big boy. And yeah, I left corporate America. I left the laboratory in 2022 because my first son's first crawl, first word, first solid food, first every milestone for the first year of his life I experienced via video. My wife sent them all to me. And I realized life was passing me by because I was working 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 hours a day, not at home. And I was making other people money with skills that I'd acquired over years that cost millions of dollars to acquire. And they were being put for somebody else. I was a boss over people that made more money than me because I was salary and they were in sales. I would basically close their sales for them and they got a commission on the back end. That wasn't fun. And so when my second son was born, I left 6 months later. He got to where he wasn't recognizing who I was because I left when he was still awake. I left before he woke up and I got home after he went to bed. And the random times that I saw him on a Saturday or Sunday, he never wanted to be with me because I was never there.
Yeah.
And I said, this is not a life that I ever chose and I'm not going to choose. So I'm going to leave. So now I'm the head coach to whatever sports my kids do. I do photography, and I got into photography 15 years ago for the purpose of taking photos of my kids in sports. So most of my time, like, what do you do with your day? Well, I don't know, I go hiking with my kids. I drop my kids off to school. I pick them up from school. I was at my son's preschool graduation yesterday in the middle of the day. I do a lot of things with my family because, for lack of better terms, I'm making up a lot of time. Long-winded answer.
That's it's a noble.
It's a hard one to follow up after that. That's really, that's interesting. I have 2 dogs. One is a newly acquired puppy, and he's very much in the puppy stage. So I spend a lot of time training and reprimanding and dealing with that fiasco because if you ever have had a puppy or baby or child or anything like that, they're just bundles of entropy. Just chaos always, everywhere, all at once. But I enjoy simple things. Like I like staying and laying out in the sun, enjoying time with the dogs as they lay around and roll in the grass, or a nice simple book or an audiobook. I have a very small but extensive collection as well because I like collecting books that I read that I find interesting. So I feed my brain all the time. And I listen to really good music. And there's a fantastic band out there. I am going to plug them because they're
awesome.
that good. Oh my gosh. I listen to a lot of Sleep Token. They're heavy on my repeat because I resonate with deep lyrics that cause you to think deeper and reflect and just question. And so if you haven't listened to them ever, I recommend you do so. They are amazing. So yeah, I'm simple. I am teaching myself the piano again, so that's
awesome.
That's where I spend a good amount of time. But other than that, it's just living. Because like Brad, I spent countless years and hours of my life for somebody else's benefit. And I hated who I was. I hated what I was doing. I hated the fact that I, for the most part, existed for somebody else's purpose. So the final straw that broke my back was when I was asked to compromise my morality for the sake of closing a sale because the client had a large budget that they could allocate. And so I very quickly said, in not so nice terms, I'm good, I'm a pass on that. And started living for myself and liking to live. Not just surviving waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and working until 12 o'clock at night and repeating that or sleeping in the office because it was just more time efficient and you could get a couple more minutes of sleep. So I enjoy the time that I have now and I try to exist and enjoy the moment as they come.
Yeah.
And by way of business, he runs the strategy. I check the analytics behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we manage the people that we hire, the engineers that we hire, the contractors we hire.
That makes sense.
Let them spend most of the time. Do the reverse what we did before.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead of us doing all the work, we just hire out.
Mm-hmm.
So they work and they get it all done better than we would.
Very much so.
And we get to spend time doing what we want to do.
So how would you recommend like entrepreneurs do that with their businesses? Right, we're here at iHub. We have hundreds of businesses here. How would these businesses do that?
Okay, something that I've noticed, and Brad, you're welcome to correct me or interject or even say that I'm wrong in this perspective, but there's a lot of synergy potential here. A lot of entrepreneurs here that they're so focused on their own businesses, needs, wants, issues, that they forget that their peers can supplement where they're weak. There's a lot of potential for collaboration here with everybody. You need some software dev? Cool. There's a guy, what was his name, Kevin? Kevin. Apparently there's a guy named Kevin that's really good at software development. I'm going to go talk to Kevin for something we got. People get so engrossed in their own headspace about what they've got going on that they forget to look around them and see all the potential partnerships, synergies, people that could help them. So that way they could take a little bit more time back for themselves. As an entrepreneur, you often get into the bad habit of juggling all the hats, all the plates, everything all at once, thinking you have to do it all. I'm lazy by nature. I don't want to do a lot. I want to just enjoy myself. So if I can offload it onto somebody else, more power to them. We need to develop that skill of collaborating and working with other people, because that's how you can take your time back. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do what you need to do and allow somebody else the opportunity to step in and fulfill that role so they get fulfillment, so they get some sort of validation that they need for themselves.
And then further beyond that, to take that one step further, there's this nuance in entrepreneurship. It's kind of a sexy term in the last 5 or 10 years. I'm an entrepreneur. Look at me. And it's a lot of, look what I built. And we've heard that quite a bit as mentors with these companies. There's a lot of great companies here. Look what I built. Look what I'm building. You're going kind of slow. It's the old adage: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a team. There's a team right there with a lot of skill. Mm-hmm. There is probably, I would bet, 500 plus years of experience in that room over there. That all you have to do is ask. And they're so engrossed in this, look what I built, look what I built, look what I did, versus look what we created. Look how far we went together. And we've pointed out several people, oh, I need this. Well, have you talked to that person? That's right outside. They're like 5 desks away from you. Mm-hmm. Well, I've never really talked to them. I didn't even know they did that. Yes.
Dude, you guys have a digital Rolodex. Read that sometimes. I check it out when I'm looking for something for us. I'm a mentor. I'm not even here. We're only here, 2 hours a month?
Yep. And we still look into who's at iHub that could help us. Mm-hmm. We actually have a potential project that if that project launches, we know exactly who we're calling. Mm-hmm. There's a startup here that I'm like, oh, he has a very specific skill that will fit very good with this, so we will be a client. Mm-hmm. He doesn't even know that yet because the company hasn't even launched yet. And if it does, he's going to hear about us.
That's awesome.
Something that I do want to make note of is that I was at that luncheon that we had this week, and I heard an interesting fact that iHub, as an entity, is a nonprofit, so they operate off of donations. iHub is a resource that a lot of the entrepreneurs here can utilize and should. There's a lot of wealth of knowledge here. And so iHub, there's a program coming out where iHub is going to help facilitate with the growth of businesses and ideation. And I was talking to somebody and asked them, well, how many people here actually allow iHub to have 1% ownership in their projects or companies? And I heard a very staggering, shocking number of that only about 80% of the businesses here are willing to allow iHub ownership, even though iHub is providing all the support, the environment. That's dumb.
And to add to that, it's only at the sale of the company.
Right.
Right. It's not even like now.
Yeah, it's only when you have profit and exit.
Yeah.
It'd be an angel investor status.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you allow that? They're creating the environment where you can come and do this. Why not? I like to give back. That's how we operate. We give back, we reciprocate.
Yeah.
You've got an environment where you have all these resources available. Use them. But also pay it forward. Give it back. Because that is where karma comes into play real well. If you are just a taker, then you are doomed. Because you will never fully succeed as much as you want to until you start giving. We give until it hurts and then some more. That's how we operate. That's who we partner with. Not with people who just take. We give, whether it's our time, our energy, our emotions, whatever it is. But we try to find as those people and connect the dots. And that's how in entrepreneurship you really can succeed is I'm pretty good at what I do alone. Brad's very good at what he does alone. Together, we are larger, better as a partnership. Because we complement and supplement for each other. There's partnerships out there that are so readily available, and people just got to realize that, hey, I don't have to do this alone. I shouldn't choose to do this alone. Sharing is actually caring. Sharing opens up doors.
I'm trying to think the numbers. The numbers aren't coming to me exactly, but for lack of example, I'll just use numbers. One Clydesdale can pull approximately 7,000 pounds. So naturally, two Clydesdales can pull 14,000 pounds. No, they pull 36,000 pounds. Because in quantum physics, they raise an energy state. When you have teams, you raise energetic states. You can become much more than just double. Mm-hmm. You become quadruple, 5, 6, 7x, just by having somebody else there, by leaning on somebody, by supporting somebody emotionally. That goes pretty far. Mm-hmm. Because this world is a fairly difficult and oftentimes lonely world. Doesn't have to be, but it is.
Yep.
What helped you guys to get into that state of just giving? Because I don't feel like that comes naturally sometimes.
I'm going to challenge that.
I don't believe that.
So when you were a little kid, you were more inclined to give. But over time, you've learned to not. And I'm not saying you specifically, I mean that generically.
Yeah.
We learn to stop giving because either somebody tells us not to or environment, whatever these external factors are. So we slowly stop giving of ourselves, stop giving to somebody. You just got to revert back to being that natural, open self because giving means that you're willing to receive as well. If you only want to receive and not give, that means you're closed off. You're not open to someone fully or to something fully. But if you're open to something 100%, you can give and receive equally. Albeit some might take more practice. But it's just going back to the roots of being that innocent, kind-hearted, natured person. There's a lot of bad in the world. There's a lot of negativity. Just ignore it. You can give even if it's just a shoulder for somebody to cry on. Even a stranger. Sometimes we just help random strangers and we have no reason why. We just feel inclined that that's a natural thing to do. We trust our gut, we do it. And sometimes you just got to get out of your head and do it.
I think people naturally want to help, but they're so afraid of zero-sum game, so afraid of scarcity-minded that they feel they can't. But if they were given an unlimited choice, unlimited resource, I think people naturally, intrinsically want to serve, want to give, want to help. There's a quote out on the wall, and it says, I don't remember exactly what it says, but it says something of, if there's not a knock, make a door. It's a giant sticker on the wall. And I walked into Vic, laughing, said, Vic, if there's not a knock, make a door. He goes, yeah, okay. I said, why are you assuming there's a wall? Why is there an assumption there's a wall there? What if there's no wall? The only wall that you think is there the one that you made. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, the wall that you think is there is the wall you made. Just take it away. You don't need to make a door.
Yeah.
It's not actually there. It's a fabric of your own imagination. It's a mirage.
And it all stemmed with a choice. You chose the wall for it to be there.
Yeah.
Choose for it to not be there. How much easier would life be? It's a choice.
Yeah, it is the beauty of agency. Just it all comes back to that.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the reason why you chose as well. Why did you decide that there's going to be a door or a wall right there that you need a door for? Did you need to have some difficulty?
That's most of the time. People think that something worthwhile is hard, so they make it hard.
Yeah.
Why? Why can't we do something and have it be easy and still be successful? It's a choice. It's your attitude. It's your perception. You make a decision consciously or unconsciously. What you choose is. Your choice will create whatever it is. Choose wisely.
I love just how much you guys just challenge everything. How did you get into that mindset of just always challenging things, making sure that like, hey, is this actually legit?
I think we both are that way by nature.
Mm-hmm.
I can speak for myself that being young, I was raised to challenge stuff. I was raised to question norms. And then I went in, and I'm very analytical by nature. And the purpose of physics is to challenge nature, to study why something is the way that it is. Mathematics, I mean, calculus was created to justify physics. That's why math was created, to understand the world around us,
Yeah.
to challenge why something takes place. And then in a laboratory sense, as I went down chemistry and these things, I'm challenging whatever product a client gives me. I'm questioning it. Does this work? Is this safe? Is it effective? Is it going to help? Are you hitting the metrics you think or thought you would hit? Yes or no? And if they're right, cool, check it. Challenge that that's even right. If it failed, cool, check it. If it failed again, check it again. Make sure you didn't mess up. Assume you messed up before the client messed up. So it's somewhat built by nature in me.
I'm a product in part of my circumstances. I challenged everything from a young age because of the disparities that I saw between one reality and another. And so I developed that natural tendency, more so that it just happens naturally, secondhand without thought. I see something that's a limitation of some sort. I challenge it. Why is that a limitation? And I developed that with time over engaging with people. I like psychology. I like to understand the people. And so when somebody would say something like, oh, I can't do that. Why not? When did you decide that you can't lift a 50-pound dumbbell?
That is one of the greatest questions of all time, by the way.
Seriously.
When did you decide?
It's a choice. Oh, I can't run a mile. I can't run. Why? You start learning how we create all these barriers. And I'm a contrarian by nature. If you tell me I'm not going to be able to do something, I'm going to say, screw you. Yes, I am. And I will show you. Because I think that I can beat what you're challenging me with. I think that I could turn that around. So, I question. Why do you think that way? Why do you operate that way? Why is this person like this? And how can we be different? How can I do better? Where can I do better? What did I decide in the past at some junction in my road that became the limitation that I have today?
Two questions we operate on pretty heavily are one he just said, which is when did you decide that? Whatever it is, whatever you're thinking right now listening to this podcast, when did you decide whatever you just thought? Because you decided it at some point. Mm-hmm. And then two, what have you not yet considered? That when you consider it, will change everything. That presumes it's already in you. You just have yet to figure it out. You haven't thought about it yet. You haven't considered it. Mm-hmm. You may consider that which you've not yet considered. And in doing so, you'll unlock everything. Two very simple yet very deep and complex questions. Mm-hmm. That will really make you think, huh.
You want to question reality? Start questioning yourself. Your whole reality will shift. Because once again, it always comes back to you. You're the common denominator in everything. When did you decide? And why did you decide this? You chose. You are here today because of the sum of all your choices. Okay? If you're unsatisfied, if you're dissatisfied, you're unhappy with where you're at now, where and when. And I'm going to add one more layer to what Brad said. What am I going to change now to get myself closer to where I want to be? Because you have a choice here. In every moment, you have a choice. What am I deciding? What am I choosing? Am I choosing short-term pleasure to forsake pain and not get my goal? Or am I choosing to have that little embrace of pain to get the long-term pleasure of achieving my goal? It's always a cost-benefit analysis that you have to run. Is this worth my future? Is this worth where I will sacrifice being? Am I choosing short-term pleasure or short-term pain? And what's the outcome? What's the long-term goal that I'm trying to achieve? And is it attainable with which one?
Have you guys always asked yourself those questions, or when did you start asking yourself those questions?
When I paid a mentor to teach me them. Money moves faster than time. That is the benefit and the purpose of iHub, to get mentors. Money moves faster than time. Most of us mentors, like I had mentioned, decades and millions of dollars to learn what I learned. I can now drop an entire quality management system on a company in one day. A whole thing, top to bottom, I can drop it. And we have given that to companies here that have met criteria. You do this, I give you this. This is not free. You must do something.
Yeah.
You can take the decade to learn what I do, or in the case of iHub, it's just part of iHub, but you can pay a mentor to teach you what they learned in a decade in a month or two. So I paid a mentor high 5 figures to teach me what took him 15 years. I downloaded in 6 months. And funny enough, my mentor and Vic were mentees together from their mentor.
That's awesome.
See, I did a combo. I, at a young age, was exposed to psychology, personal development, all that. So I had it all around me at all times. And so I started thinking differently. I started seeing things differently. And then I invested and paid a mentor to teach me skills, tools, applications, perspectives that furthered my knowledge and understanding. And so the better question is, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you pay somebody to teach you very quickly and efficiently? You want efficiency. That in part is requiring you to practice and go and execute, but also let them make the mistakes and then teach you all the things that they learned in the process of. It's the best way to learn. If somebody else is making the mistakes and you just benefit from the learnings, fantastic way. That is the greatest ROI that you'll ever have. So, why wouldn't you?
I think that's what's really cool here about iHub. Is there's so many people that have the experience and they're so willing to give back. And I think it's definitely something that people do take for granted sometimes.
Often.
They're foolish to do so. I'm just gonna say that.
When did you guys realize that you needed mentors? You've paid lots of money, and I'm assuming you've also done the same.
I paid a good time.
What made you guys turn to mentors?
There's the analogy of you hitting that ceiling repeatedly and nothing changes, despite whatever route your path you take. And so you have to level up, which means you pay somebody who's leveled up to a point that you aren't yet at. And you learn how they went from where you are to where they're at. And in my case, it very much was okay, I know all these things, not getting any traction, so what more do I have to learn? And that's where the pivoting started happening. That's where the growth started happening. Sometimes we encounter our thresholds and we need somebody to help us lift up. Other times we have all these tools, we just don't know how to make alchemy with them. We just know how to do basic arithmetic. But to make true magic, you got to learn what to put together when and how and in what ratios, how much pressure. So that's what it was like for me.
My first mentor, my father was my first mentor. And he just did it by being a father, but he was also very much so a mentor. And then when I first got into business, when I became a lab tech, I was mentored by the president of the company because my original path was to become the president. So I started as a janitor with the path to becoming the president. That was the plan before I left the company because my goals got much bigger. And I exceeded and matched and then exceeded what my mentor could do. At one point in time, I had 6 different paid mentors at one time to scale in certain capacities. If you want to grow somewhere, I highly advise get a mentor in it. And mentors don't have to be paid. There's podcasts, there's books,
YouTube
there's
is
plenty
a
of
great
ways.
resource. YouTube has a lot of people out there that gives you free information.
Yep.
It's true.
2 of my mentors, I started their podcasts, and then I paid them, and now I'm back to just their podcasts. Because I extracted what I needed to,
Yeah.
and now I'm back to just their podcasts.
How do you know that they're the right mentor for you?
You'll know. You'll know because if they stimulate positive thought and action, that's you're headed towards the right direction. If they stimulate you towards negative thought, negative action, they're not a fit for you. There might be a misalignment there.
Mm-hmm.
They might work for somebody else in a different place, different setting. But you intuitively know this is a good matchup. It's like dating. Within the first, 30 minutes of the date, you kind of know whether things are going to progress or not. It's the same thing. You're courting them, you're learning about them, they're teaching you little nuggets here and there, and does it resonate within you in a deep form or fashion? You're like, okay, I need this. I need to understand more of this. Or is it this isn't for me? You intuitively know. And then you ask, you do your due diligence. What do they have to offer? Research the crap out of them. Do an audit on them socially, professionally. See, are they a good human being? Do they have the same sort of values that you do? Or are they a scumbag? In which case, I recommend you stay away from the scumbags. Just personal opinion.
Okay.
Wise.
You guys did mention that you've experienced a lot of scams.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of how you've figured out how to identify the scams? Is kind of the feeling? Or
There's
what
all
else?
sorts of different scams out there. So like, let's see. There was a crypto scam that I got duped into. I chose to be in that, but I allowed myself to not understand fully the scope of the project. So that was a good 5-6 figures lost there. But once again, it came back from my choice and not me not doing my due diligence to research and flush out and challenge the whole project in its entirety. Same thing with people and mentors and things like that. There are some people out there on social media that talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And they give you one persona, but then if you do a basic, search on any sort of court records, you see that they have a history of violence, domestic violence, fraud, things like that. So you're like, okay, you convey and portray yourself as this person here, but you have a DV charge from last month against your spouse. There's a misalignment here. I'm going to trust the DV charge more than the social media because that, there's a cop involved there. So that's where I say, okay, Dad, this guy's a scammer. He's going to try and dupe people out of money. You also go audit the people that they've inspired or worked with. Ask them the questions. Where are they strong at? Where are they bad at? Did you ever feel anything was off or remiss? And I've done my due diligence on many people, and I've also not done my due diligence on many people. I've gotten duped by many people. However, I have not gotten duped in the same exact way because I've taken the time to learn from each experience to make sure that I don't get duped again, that I don't allow myself because I'm now asking the correct questions, making sure I'm doing all the auditing, making sure that they match up with other people and values. Do they match up with my values? Are they the same person behind closed doors in the dark as they are in the light?
Do you have anything to add to that?
Nope. No, you just learn. Yeah. I mean, my first few, I've been scammed by mentors too. I learned what I learned. I've been scammed by some. I learned from the scam. I moved forward.